Have you been in that place before, or similar places in your life? And what happens to you when you feel under the pressure because people are judging you? It's unfair. It's not right. It's not wise. So why do you do that to other people? One of the great things about real religion, I'm not talking about the false types of religion or the stupid types, and that's in Buddhism, Christianity, all over the place. Real religion doesn't judge. How can you honestly, fairly judge another human being? They're not the same, they're not better, they're not worse, they're just different. And that lack of judging of another human being is called metta, loving kindness. The door of my heart is open no matter who you are, no matter what you do. You've heard that before, that's the title of the book. But do you understand that what it really means is being non-judgmental, loving and respecting a person for who they are, not trying to make them something different, not judging them, and therefore not controlling them. How can you control them? Controlling them is wanting to be something different. They're good enough as they are, so how can you control? And you can take that further. Instead of just like loving kindness for this being or that being, loving kindness for yourself and your life, with all the tragedies and difficulties it's gone through. How can you judge your life? You've been to court because of some sort of accusation. You've been in business, you've lost the business. You've had this disease or that disease, that trouble, that success. Do you sort of judge sometimes? I've had a bad day and another day was a good day. This has been a bad year, 2006, but 2007 I want it to be a good year. Why do you really fairly judge? Is it really accurate assessment of what happens? Because as soon as you start to judge the good and the bad, the success and the failures, then you actually start to divide society, you start to control. When you don't judge, it's amazing how free you feel. I'm good enough. Last year was good enough. The fact that my son died is good enough. I don't judge that to be a tragedy. I don't judge the birth of my first son to be a wonderful success. Why do you say those things? It's society just puts those pressures on us. If you really rebel and look upon it more closely, these are just events of life. This is just what happens. It's nature. Can you judge nature? You can say, it was too hot today, and ring up the weather bureau to complain. I mean, I did read that sort of sometimes people actually do ring up the weather bureau in Perth and say, look, you said in the paper it was going to be sunny today, and I went out for a picnic and it rained. You know, you're wrong, you should not do that again, okay? Don't do that again. They complain to the weather bureau. Why do you complain to yourself or complain to life? Again, why allow life to control your happiness? The ups and downs of life, success and failure, health and sickness, life and death, praise and blame. This is right down the line teachings of the Buddha, who call these worldly dhammas, worldly truths, which we all have to share with, more or less. Shares of praise, shares of blame, successes and failures, sort of wealth and losing your wealth. All these things which we have, health and sickness, all these things we all have to share.